So here at the University of the District of Columbia, I studied the role of international institutions in a course called Globalizing with Professor Tennassee.
When I came to the University of District of Columbia in October of 2005 as Director of International Affairs, I had a vision which I proclaimed in the interview to get the job, that I would like to work with all the connections and experience I acquired to connect the faculty, the students, and the community here at the University of District of Columbia with the globalizing world. And so the first initiative I took was to organize a number of local forums.
Now, when you have a professor who's able to have 60, probably over 60 local forums right here, the only public institution for higher learning in Washington, D.C. He was able to do local forums on the role of Africa, on the reemergence of India, China, and Russia, and on Mexico. One in particular that stood out to me is the one that I co-chaired, which was the role of international NGOs. And again, with over 60 of these types of forums where students, professors, local leaders, and practitioners were able to be in one room discussing these current issues, it was tremendous to my education here at UDC.
I call them local forums because I always held the view that what was local had a global dimension and what was global had a local dimension. And therefore we had to make analysis that sort of interlinked the local with the global and the global with the local. And that we had to somehow orient and educate folks that they should think globally but act locally. So we organized over 2, 3, 4 dozens local events, because Washington DC is about policy analysis and policy making, and it's a very rich city in that respect. A lot of dialogue, a lot of analysis, and we access all the folks that we could have in the consortium universities, academia, think tanks, non-governmental organizations, staff for the World Bank, the IMF, the OAS, the Pan American Health Organizations. And we organized programs where we brought folks from those institutions to be on panels to share their knowledge, not only theoretically but practically, how they work and formulate policy and implement it with our community here at the University of District of Columbia. This university is well located in the environment of over 30 embassies just next door, and down into Massachusetts Avenue and other parts of Washington, D.C. So we were able to take advantage of all the resources that are here. And we organized programs on campus and off campus. And the faculty was extremely supportive here in the university. We were able to break down barriers, and professors encouraged their students to attend the forums and to interact and to participate.
I am taking a course called Discovery Civics with Professor Paul Nehru, and we have gone on some interesting trips. We have gone to the embassy of the United Arab Emirates, where we were able to learn about their culture, have a bit of the cuisine.
Some of the numerous site visits that I was able to participate in with Professor Tennassee's class, they range from the World Bank to the IMF, to the IDB, to PAHO, to local nonprofit organizations. I really immersed myself through Professor Tennassee's class in the various world institutions here in Washington, D.C.
So many of our students have been able to take advantage of the opportunity of having their global education expanded and deepened by interacting with folks who were practitioners in both local, national, and global policy making. This also allowed them to do networking. Washington, D.C. is about networking in the prospects for looking for jobs and so forth. And this gave them an opportunity to do exactly that.
Going to the World Bank event, I learned that when networking, it's really important for you to make yourself open and inviting so that people feel as if they can talk to you and offer you opportunities and offer you advice. And that's what happened. I got an opportunity to go serve at the Embassy of Nigeria.
But we also did programs with the community. We designed a program called the Green Line and Beyond.
So in Washington, D.C., there are several train lines. There's a red line, and then there's a green line.
On the Green Line, one particular ethnic group or two or three particular ethnic groups lived on that line and they were low income.
So through the Green Line and Beyond project, Paul Tennessee worked with several high school students who were attending or living east of the Anacostia River and had spent most of their upbringing riding the Green Line.
So we tried to go to the various wards and recruit students from the high schools who would go beyond the borders of their ward and visit the IMF, visit the OAS, visit the World Bank, visit Congress and so forth, so they could widen their education.
So it was a tremendous program of mentoring where I myself was a mentor to these brilliant young students.
I trained a number of UDC students to be mentors, and they accompanied me in a program with the 4-H Club and with the National Armory that had a family readiness program with kids from high schools in the community, and we educated them on globalization literacy.
The globe is beyond their green line, beyond their neighborhoods, and beyond Washington, D.C.
We also initiated a program of training young people to be the citizen diplomats, and we did training courses with them. That is, that a young person or any citizen can become a diplomat like an ambassador, represent their country and their causes even though they were not appointed by a government. They could assume responsibility and civic consciousness for a particular issue.
I'd always had a vision of working as a community leader. And then in 2007, Paul Tennessee approached me with the Citizen Diplomat program through his department. And I read the description and I said, wow, this is exactly what I wanted training on. And through his summertime Citizen Diplomat training program, I was a certified citizen diplomat, thanks largely in part to Paul Tennessee.
On the media of a guy who was passing HIV.
He'd be held
Yeah, he'll go to jail.
In traditional universities, you sometimes get a lot of lecture style where it's a lot of theory. Professor Tennessee is very good at bringing in skilled experts in their fields from the various local institutions here to lecture, but more than lecture, to give practical, real-time examples of the work that they do every single day. So the guest lecturers were instrumental to the course.
Now, why Washington Immersion is important is because even though the majority of our students are drawn from the District of Columbia, we also have students from other states of the United States. And we have a significant percentage of international students. And they come to UDC precisely because they believe it's in the nation's capital and the most powerful global city in the world, and politically speaking. And therefore they come to get a piece of that kind of touch, that education of being in this city. We encourage the students in the civics, political science, and other intellectual disciplines to take advantage of Washington, D.C. and deepen their global education and obtain their Washington Immersion. Because in this way, it will enhance not only their resume, their possibilities for work, but it allows them to obtain a global perspective about issues that affect all of us, all over the world, regardless of where we are from, what race we belong to, what social class we belong to. But as long as we're pursuing an education, we need to be connecting with the globalizing world. And Washington, D.C. is the most unique place to be both in a global city and at the same time obtain not only a global education but have a Washington immersion. People and folks in Washington, D.C. are very accessible and always willing to lend a hand and to assist students to deepen their knowledge and obtain these kinds of perspectives.
Professor Tennassee's class and Professor Tennessee himself has provided a way for students to become comfortable in a professional environment. Students who may not usually have these opportunities are being exposed to this environment, and it has provided us with tools like networking, knowing what to say and what not to say. So it's been an invaluable lesson.
It was a tremendous experience learning about tables of governance and about NGOs right here in Washington, D.C. I have learned so much through those two courses that allow me now to be where I am in my life.